Alrighty then, today is making crab cake day, and when I do that, I always wear my daddy's old raggedy, apron. My daddy loved blue crabs, They were Louisiana blue crabs. I'm catching these in South Carolina. So he loved crabs. But because he had children or laborers, he would tell us we didn't have no food for that night. So me and my brother needed to go out and come back with a mess of blue crabs. And of course, we took this responsibility serious. We went out there, it didn't matter, water moccasins, whatever, throwing traps, working hand nets, spotting alligators, because we had to bring home food, And don't think our mama wasn't in on that, because before we left, she'd give us little sandwiches and say, you stay out there till you get a mess of them, however many that is, I don't know, but I still call it a mess of crabs. And that way we can have food. And all they did was get us out the house. We know what they're doing now because we're grown and we know they lied to us. But anyway, we took it serious. So I have pulled out last year's frozen in sucky bags claw meat. Oh yeah, yes I am. Because the new South Carolina blue crabs I caught, I will be putting sucky bags and building up this year's supply. So this will be mostly claw meat. But I got this much body meat. I was willing to give up 2 Jimmy's 7-inch point-to-point body meat. So we're gonna make some crab cakes. It's so not hard. You can do it. You can get lump crab meat in the store. You can order South Carolina or Louisiana blue crabs on the intraweb. And I got coffee going in the background because I live here and things happen. Okay, so let's start making some crab cakes. So easy. So I start with 2 egg yolks. I may need to add more since I have so many claws, and some Duke's mayonnaise. This is a 1/4 cup I'm using. I want crab cakes. So this, I'm just gonna whisk this together, and into this we're gonna add our spice mixture. And because I have so many claws, I may need to add more stuff, but that ain't hard. I got more stuff. I come from a place of more stuff. I'm gonna start with a teaspoon of what's this here sauce. Where's my teaspoon? Easiest thing in the world to do. What else we got? We're going to, we're gonna use a Tabasco and a hot sauce. Tabasco is so good. Vinegary flavor from New Iberia, Louisiana. There we go. You don't really measure that. You just got to think that in your mind. I just use the spoon to contain it. Another dash, because that's just how I roll. All right. Let's whisk this in here together. So easy, right? Let's do a teaspoon of lemon juice, just out the bottle. There we go. A 1/4 teaspoon of dry mustard. Easy peasy. 1 tablespoon of stone ground Dijon. Knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Whiskey, whiskey. We got a lot of crab meat to get in here. Got a tablespoon of our own grown parsley, dehydrated. Ooh, look at that pretty color. Yep. Now I want crab cakes to taste like crab cakes, so I don't overwhelm it with seasoning, but we are gonna start with a teaspoon of Tony Chachere Cajun seasoning. You can always add more, but you cannot take away, so be careful. We're gonna sprinkle in some Everglades heat. It's not spicy, it's not overwhelming, because we're making crab cakes which have a subtle flavor. Whiskey, whiskey. And I will taste this, even though there's 2 eggs in it. Simmer down, okay? Before I put my crab meat in here, because I gotta make sure it's right. I don't think I'm gonna die. And if I do, it won't be here on a video. That's how I'm rolling. Of course, need salt and pepper. So I'm gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Yep. That means I will sneeze soon. Whiskey whisk. Ooh. Yes. Let's do 1/2 cup of panko breadcrumbs. And then we're gonna let this sit in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. And I can already tell I'm gonna add 1 more egg yolk to this. Ooh, yes I am. Oh, And I always do 4 egg yolks. Duh. So this will liquefy a bit more when it sits in the refrigerator just for 30 minutes before we add our crab. So even though it's got egg in it, one must taste it. Oh yeah. Got a tiny kick in the back from the hot sauces, but Vern ought to be okay with that, and Leo. Okay, into the refrigerator covered for 30 minutes. I scraped the rest of the mayonnaise, or mayonnaise as it was called in New Orleans, off out of that 1/4 cup in here. So now I've got a good little bit of fluid action. Alrighty, it's been about 40 minutes in there, and now we're gonna start to add. I'm gonna use my 2 jimmies from yesterday first. Fold them in. And now, let's start adding some of our claw meat from last year. Oh yeah. I'm just folding around. Another handful. We'll likely be adding more mayonnaise. And the egg is our binder, and we have 4 yolks. So we should have plenty for that. Oh. I'm gonna keep incorporating the rest, and I will come back. Alrighty, we ended up adding a 1/2 cup more of mayonnaise and a big squirt of ground Dijon. So now I'm gonna take me a little handful. You can use an ice cream scoop if you're that kind of person. And I'm gonna form myself up some crab cakes. If your mixture is too wet, you can literally squeeze it when you put in there. And I'm gonna set mine in this little pile of panko for at the bottom. Then it's just going on a parchment sheet, on a cookie sheet. So I'm forming it in a little ball. Remember, this is mostly crab meat, not filler. Oh, smells very crabby. Into my little panko, onto my cookie sheet. So there's the ones we're gonna eat today. And now I'm just gonna form up the ones that I'm going to freeze in packs of 4. So they're going in at 400 degrees. These I'm gonna put in the freezer, carefully balance them so that when they get frozen tomorrow, I'll put them in sucky bags, my out of air bags. So right into the oven at 400, about 15 minutes perhaps. Nobody knows, you just gotta check them. All right, here they are. It took 16 minutes. They are warm, they are glorious. And I come to you with an offer that I hope you cannot refuse. Okay, you all know I suffer from husband interruptus. It's happened 4 times during this. So I want to offer a loan a husband program. It's free. It is no cost to you. I mean, he came in once to tell me it's going to rain. I could tell that from how dark it got in my kitchen, from, you know, the clouds, okay? So first he came in and made his coffee and he was standing where I need keep my measuring cups. So I waited. And then he just went outside with it. And then he came back in because it was too hot and he wanted to make it an iced coffee. So he positioned himself again in front of where I keep my measuring cups. Okay? So then he wanted to make a special creamer for it. And 6 minutes later, he had his iced coffee to where he took his jiggly jelly butt back on to the screen porch where he belongs. Okay, and I almost did this backwards. I almost cooked the ones that I wanted to freeze and not the 8 that I wanted to do. So I'm offering you a loaner husband. He drives a truck, he's got mad tools, ain't nothing he can't fix, ain't no ladder he won't climb on. He's smart as all get out, okay? Once was to ask what the racket was. Well, the racket was wrestling out the cookie sheets, okay, closest to the back door where his jiggly jelly butt is sitting on the porch. And it sounds just like this when he wrestles out aluminum cookie sheets. Okay, so there was 4 instances. So I'm just offering, if anybody, you got to keep him 3 days, okay? He can also cook. But if he's doing a big honey-do list for you, just feed him. But understand, don't try to do a video voiceover while he's there. It won't work out, okay? So I can, if needed, send him with food. All you have to do is say, I would like the Lona Vern husband program. And I will send his jiggly jelly butt in his truck with his tools and food if you need it as soon as you say send him, okay? So I'm just saying. But in the meantime, I have glorious crab cakes. And now I have to go outside and check the crab pot that's off my dock because you know it's gonna rain. But when there's a 70% chance of rain, I kind of figured that out myself. So anyway, maybe these crab cakes will make me happy and there'll be no freaking voiceover because at any minute he could come in with husband interruptus and disturb my peace. Okay? Whew. Stay safe. Eat. Do your food storage, okay? And pay attention. Because this is a difficult place to live now and costly. But I'm going to keep storing food, canning food, and if one of you will just take him 3 days, 3 days, think about it, okay? Then just say, I want me some Vern, okay? Thank you.